it doesn't seem too controversial a question. Do women deserve powerful jobs?
We asked that question because nearly 7 out of 10 of the biggest jobs in business are taken up by men. So, do we need to boost female representation in boardrooms, or do women need to work harder?
Do women need to work harder to get their way up the career
When you've done the
ladder?
housework, when you've run the kids to school, sorted out dinner in the evening...
Done all the emotional housekeeping for everybody in the family, done all the other stuff that needs doing. Anyway, let's talk now to YouTuber and political commentator Pearl Davis and feminist and writer Jean Hatchet. Good morning, ladies. Thank you so much for joining us. Pearl, let me come to you. Why are women still not quite breaking through that glass ceiling in the numbers that we potentially could be doing?
Well, women aren't breaking that glass ceiling because really we're not doing equal work. You know, women don't build any of these companies. You know, when we look at top female billionaires, we see Kim Kardashian where men have Elon Musk. If women aren't willing to build these companies themselves, why do we go to the men and say, give me the best jobs in these companies? And if we look at society at large, women don't do the hardest jobs. You know, men create 75% of our food, 80% of our stuff. And in 150 years of Nobel Peace Prizes for the hardest things like physics or chemistry, 0 all-women teams have won. We're not picking career fields or even going to college for the highest paying stuff.
But why,
so, you know, my answer
why,
is simple.
Pearl?
Women are not working as hard as men, and therefore we're not getting the results that men are getting.
Jean, we're just not working as hard as the men. We're sat around filing our fingernails and baking cakes while the men go out and create for the benefits of us all.
Complaining. Yeah, because that's what women do best is complain.
Go on, Jean. Let Jean Hatchet come in.
Why do we need to be equal?
Hang on.
That's my question. Why is equality something that we strive for?
Well, let's see if Jean can answer that, Jean.
I mean, you know, this is an absolute basic level of inequality on a board, because what Pearl's saying is that women don't have the merit because they don't do the work. But you've already got those boards stocked with men. Who decided the merit of those men? Other men. So we're working within an already established patriarchal society, which has already laid the groundwork for those men to lead those companies and do all this work that Pearl assumes they are more capable of than women. But, you know, for those board positions, 65% of those positions are nominations. Those men nominate other men. You know, that's a patriarchal society we've lived in for and been aware of for, you know, centuries. And Pearl can pretend she's not aware of it, but, you know, that's how you build a career as a YouTuber. But the actual, you know, the fundamental thing here is this is not one of the key issues for feminist women. You know, the structural oppression of women goes on in so many different levels. And, you know, male violence against women is at epidemic levels. So when you're asking why women aren't there, why they aren't doing this work, there are much deeper reasons why women don't attain those heights, and specifically working class women who will never get anywhere near a boardroom.
Go on, Pearl. Go on, Pearl.
Yeah,
because
I disagree. I disagree that we are in a patriarchy. I would say we're in something closer to a matriarchy where women have more power than men. You know, I've spoken to corporate recruiters and they actually give women preferential treatment through DEI hiring practices. I disagree completely that there's anything holding me back as a woman. I've worked in corporate America. They're incredibly accommodating. And if anything, really, you're given more privilege and more treatment. The problem is women just aren't doing the work. Second thing you said is what? Male violence is preventing me from getting a job? Are you kidding me? That is the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard. Women are actually the more violent gender. You know, women, when we look at the most abusive relationships, do you know what they are? Lesbians. Lesbians are the most abusive. So the funny thing is, more
women are killed at the hands of their partners than men are killed at the hands of their female partners every single day in this country. But let's bring it back to the issue then about women are not. Hang on, Pearl. Because that's just empirically, evidentially true that our prisons across the world are full of men who have murdered their female partners, as opposed to women who have murdered their male partners. That's just nonsense.
Let me correct you. Women have aborted an eighth of the world population. The most violent place someone can be is in their mother's
Let's not take this down an abortion rabbit hole.
No, just
one of the
honest.
reasons, well, that's not just being honest, that's just being ridiculous. The thing is, Jean, one of the reasons that women enter the business world and don't make it onto the board level, which is what this story is about, is because of family commitments. That is a big point at which women have a pivot in their life and they decide, do I have to give more time to my family? Am I able to do both? And they find repeatedly, Jean, that they can't do both. And part of that lies at the door of fathers who, when they have a child, still presume 100% of childcare raising is the female responsibility.
Well, women aren't actually being mothers.
Hang on, Pearl. I want to hear from Jean. Go on, Jean.
Yeah. I think we're on the same page there because, you know, there are other issues as well as maternity and the commitments of family life for women. And you know, some of the comments there about lesbian women were abhorrent. I think, you know, we've also got to look at menopause. Can I speak, please? You're very rude at interrupting. I've seen your interviewing style. It's not pleasant. Please stop. So, you know, you've got levels of maternity that put pressures on women. You've got menopause. You have got a system where women will not put themselves forward for jobs because of decades of having their confidence undermined by men in a workplace. And some of that is sexual harassment. Not all women are subject to sexual harassment. But, you know, we have to stick with statistics here, and we have to stick with how men get to those positions and why women don't. And, you know, throwing out these random anecdotal examples of why you can particularly get to a position that ignores the actual experience of women attempting to get to those positions, that's not really an argument. It's dismissing, you know, the statistical evidence of why women don't.
That's right. Pearl, last word to you. I think we've got time.
Okay, you know, I want to show just from this conversation where women don't live in the real world. You know, she said something really important, that women have had their confidence undermined. Men know that actually moving up in corporate America is not about confidence, it's about skill. And yet one of the leading, you know, feminists, I'm assuming, I don't know too much about her, but one of the leading feminists is saying that confidence is required to move up in corporate America. No, honey, skill. The second thing we're going to talk about is women being mothers. You know, Morgan Stanley's predicting half of women between 25 and 45 will be single and childless by 2030. Women aren't having kids. The birth rate's declining. So, you know, this idea that women are putting their motherly duties above working, it's just not the case anymore. You know, we have all of the
because they can't do both, because they feel that too much structurally doing both is too difficult if you want to do both well. You can be a rubbish mum and work all the time, and you can be a brilliant rubbish in the workplace and be a brilliant mum. It's very hard to do both well, Pearl. And one day you might find that out. Both of you, thank you so much.